What if the weight you have been carrying for 60, 70, or 80 years was never truly meant to be yours to hold? What if the wrinkles on your brow and the tightness in your chest are not just signs of age, but the physical signature of a soul that has simply forgotten how to breathe? Imagine, just for a moment, that every delay you have faced, every goodbye that broke your heart, and every dream that seemed to slip through your fingers was not a mistake of fate, but a gentle, invisible hand redirecting you toward a peace you were not yet ready to see. We spend the first half of our lives building careers, building families, building an identity that the world expects us to maintain. We become masters of doing, but in the process, we become strangers to being. Now, as the sun begins to set with that beautiful golden hue of your later years, you might find yourself looking back and wondering, did I live? Or did I simply worry? What if nothing in your life has ever truly been random? Not the heartbreak of your youth, not the health scares of your middle age, and certainly not the quiet stillness of your life today. In the philosophy of the Buddha, there is no such thing as a coincidence. There is only the meeting of a soul that is ready to hear and a truth that is ready to be revealed. Perhaps you are here right now because your spirit is tired of the noise. It is tired of the constant pressure to fix things, to control the future, or to solve the mysteries of what comes next. You know that feeling of carrying a heavy bag of groceries for blocks, only to realize your hands have cramped into a permanent grip. That is how most of us live our inner lives. We grip our worries, our children's futures, and our own health so tightly that we have forgotten how to open our palms. What if I told you that your greatest strength is no longer in how much you can do, but in how much you can let go? What if the secret to the most vibrant health and the deepest happiness in this stage of your life is found in the one place you were taught never to look, in the art of not caring? Not in a way that is cold or indifferent, but in a way that is profoundly wise. A way that says, I have done my part, and now I trust the universe to do its. Think of a river. When a river is young and high in the mountains, it crashes against the rocks, trying to force its way through. But as it matures and nears the ocean, it becomes wide, deep, and calm. It doesn't fight the stones anymore, it simply flows around them. That is the invitation of today. To stop being the crashing water and to start being the deep, wide river that knows exactly where it is going without having to scream. You have lived through enough seasons to know that storms always pass. You have seen empires rise and fall, fashions change, and the people you once leaned on become the ones who lean on you. This lifetime of experience has prepared you for this exact moment of transformation. Did you know that your body, even now, possesses an incredible, quiet intelligence that knows how to heal when the mind stops interfering? Did you know that the monkey mind that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. is just a habit of fear, not a reflection of reality? We are going to explore how to silence that noise. We are going to rediscover the temple of your body and the sanctuary of your spirit. This is not about learning something new. It is about unlearning the layers of stress that have hidden the real you for decades. Imagine waking up tomorrow, not to the sound of your worries, but to the calm voice of your own soul, finally given enough silence to speak. In the next few minutes, we are going to dive deep into 5 specific Buddhist principles designed to transform the way you experience your life, your health, and your peace. These are not just ancient ideas. They are practical, living instructions for anyone who feels like they have been running a race that has no finish line. We will talk about why your energy is the most valuable currency you have left and how to stop spending it on people and problems that don't deserve your light. I will share with you the paradox of the whatever mindset, the strange law that suggests the moment you stop trying so hard, life finally starts moving in your favor. If you find that these words resonate with a quiet corner of your heart, I invite you to join our community here. This is a place where we remember together that nothing is a coincidence. By subscribing, you are simply making a gentle commitment to feed your spirit a little bit of calm every single day. We don't believe in aggressive growth. We believe in the quiet blooming of the lotus. And please, I encourage you to stay until the very end. Beyond our 5 core lessons, I have prepared a powerful bonus ritual, a 5-minute healing secret, passed down by the forest monks of Thailand. It is a simple practice you can do from your favorite chair to help your body dissolve tension and remember its natural state of balance. It is my gift to you for being here and for being brave enough to seek peace in a world that praises chaos. Let us take one deep, intentional breath together. Feel the air enter your lungs, a gift you didn't have to earn. Feel the release as you exhale, letting the shoulders drop just a fraction of an inch. You are safe. You are here. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Have you ever wondered why, even in your later years, you find yourself exhausted from trying to fix the lives of those you love? Why do you lay awake at 3 in the morning, mentally rearranging the paths of your children, your grandchildren, or even replaying the choices of your own past, hoping that somehow, through the sheer force of your worry, you can change the outcome? We have spent decades believing that our care is measured by our control. But Buddhism whispers a different truth to the aging heart. Your peace is not found in the grip of your hands, but in the openness of your spirit. Buddha wisely taught us a principle that sounds simple, yet shatters the ego's foundation. You only lose what you cling to. Think about that for a moment. The anxiety you feel regarding your health, your legacy, or the choices of your family. It isn't caused by the situations themselves. It is caused by the invisible thread of attachment that you refuse to cut. We believe that if we stop worrying, it means we've stopped loving. But in the eyes of the Dharma, worrying is not love. It is fear disguised as responsibility. When you cling, you suffocate the very life you are trying to protect. Imagine a river. A river does not fight against the stones in its bed. It does not try to move the boulders that were there long before it arrived. Instead, the river finds the path of least resistance. It flows around the obstacles, trusting its own nature to reach the sea. You are that river. At this stage of your life, you are no longer the crashing waterfall of youth, full of noise and force. You have become the deep, wide river that has traveled many miles. You have seen the terrain change, and you know, deep in your bones, that the stones do not define the journey. Your strength now lies in your ability to yield, to flow, and to trust that the water knows exactly where it is going. I remember a time in my own journey when I was desperately trying to guide someone I loved away from a mistake I saw coming. I stayed up for weeks, rehearsing what to say, feeling my blood pressure rise with every imagined scenario. I was convinced that if I didn't fix it, everything would fall apart. One morning, I sat in front of a small pond and watched a single leaf fall onto the surface. The leaf didn't struggle. It didn't try to swim back to the tree. It simply rested on the water and let the current take it. I realized then that my fixing was actually my own fear of uncertainty. The moment I chose to stop interfering, I didn't lose that person. I gained back my soul. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a slow, deep breath. Imagine you are standing by that same quiet river. See your worries as heavy stones you've been carrying in your pockets. One by one, feel yourself taking those stones out and dropping them into the water. Hear the plop as they sink. Notice how your shoulders drop. Notice how the river doesn't stop because of the stones. It simply carries on. As you breathe out, say to yourself, I have done my part. Now, I let the current lead. Ask yourself gently, what am I afraid will happen if I stop trying to manage this outcome? Is it really danger you fear, or is it the discomfort of finally admitting that you are not the director of this universe? Peace begins the moment you realize that life is happening through you, not to you. You are allowed to be at rest. You are allowed to be whole, even while the world around you continues its chaotic dance. The more you trust the rhythm of existence, the less the discord of the world can affect your inner sanctuary. True mastery is not in controlling life, but in how gracefully you meet it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, I trust my path. Lesson 2. Why is it that the silence of a house or the quiet of a long afternoon feels like an enemy to so many of us? In our youth, we were always running, to work, to school, to meetings, to social gatherings. We were conditioned to believe that being busy meant being valuable. Now, when the noise of the world begins to fade, many feel a sense of dread or loneliness. But what if this solitude isn't a punishment for getting older? What if it is a sacred invitation to finally meet the most important person in your life, yourself? A profound Buddhist teaching suggests, your work is to discover your work, and then with all your heart to give yourself to it. For many of us, for decades, our work was taking care of others. But in this stage of awakening, your work is the discovery of the inner landscape. Solitude is the laboratory of the soul. It is only in the stillness that the silt of our lives can settle, and the water of our consciousness can become clear. When you stop running from the silence, you begin to realize that you are not empty. You are simply unattended. Think of a lake at dawn. When the wind blows and the boats are moving, the surface is choppy, and the water is murky with sand. You cannot see the bottom, and you certainly cannot see a reflection. But when the wind dies down and the lake becomes perfectly still, something miraculous happens. The lake reflects the moon and the stars perfectly. Your mind is that lake. The noise of your past, the distractions of your phone, the constant need for television or radio, these are the winds that keep your water murky. When you sit in stillness, you aren't doing nothing. You are allowing your reflection to return. I remember a period after a significant loss when I couldn't stand to be in a room without the TV on. The silence was too loud. It echoed with the things I didn't want to feel. I was terrified that if I sat still, the sadness would swallow me whole. But one day, the power went out. I was forced to sit in the dark, in the quiet. I waited for the panic, but instead, after a while, I felt a strange sense of companionship. I realized I had been ignoring my own spirit for years. In that silence, I found a friend who had been waiting for me to come home. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart and the other on your stomach. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Don't try to change it. Just notice it. As you sit here, imagine that with every breath in, you are inviting your soul to sit down beside you. With every breath out, let the need for noise drift away. Notice that even in this stillness, you are alive, you are breathing, and you are complete. Say to yourself, I am my own sanctuary. I am at home. Ask yourself gently, what am I trying to drown out with the noise I keep around me? Are you avoiding a memory, or are you simply afraid of the vastness of your own peace? Remember, the strongest person is not the one who can talk the loudest, but the one who can sit in silence and not feel a need to leave. Your worth is not measured by your productivity, but by your presence. When you become a friend to your own solitude, the world loses its power to make you feel lonely. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart. If you feel this peace growing, just type, "My joy finds me." Lesson 3. When we face the physical pains of aging, or the emotional sting of losing those we've known for a lifetime, our first question is usually, why? Why is this happening to me? Why must my body fail? Why must my heart break again? It is natural to view pain as an intruder, a mistake that needs to be fixed. But Buddhism offers a radical perspective. Pain is not the enemy. It is a messenger. It is a mirror. It is the crack through which the light of wisdom finally enters the soul. The Buddha taught that suffering is inevitable, but unnecessary suffering is a choice. This sounds harsh until you realize the distinction. The pain of a backache or a loss is the first arrow. But the story we tell ourselves, the life is unfair, the I'm a victim, the I can't handle this, that is the second arrow. We cannot always stop the first arrow, but we can stop shooting ourselves with the second one. Pain is here to reshape you, to burn away the old, fearful version of you so that a wiser, more resilient spirit can rise. Consider the life of a seed. For a seed to become a tree, it must first endure the total destruction of its world. It is buried in the dark, cold earth. It is crushed by the weight of the soil, and then it must literally break open. To the seed, this must feel like the end of everything. It must feel like a catastrophe. But without that breaking, the life inside can never reach for the sun. You are in your breaking season. Every challenge you face is simply the shell of your ego cracking so that your true, infinite self can finally grow. There was a time when my health took a turn that I thought would define the end of my happiness. I spent months grieving for the body I used to have, the things I could no longer do. I was so busy fighting the reality of my situation that I didn't see the gifts it was offering. Because I had to slow down, I started noticing the beauty of the birds in my garden. I started having deeper conversations with my neighbors. My physical limitation forced my heart to expand. I realized that my body wasn't failing. It was just changing its language, teaching me a deeper way to live. Close your eyes and bring your attention to any area of your body or heart that feels heavy or painful right now. Instead of pushing it away, imagine a soft, golden light surrounding that area. Breathe into it. As you inhale, imagine this light is offering comfort to the pain. As you exhale, imagine the tension of fighting. The pain is melting away. See the pain not as a monster, but as a tired child that needs your compassion. Say inwardly, "I see you. I am here. We are healing." Ask yourself gently, what is this struggle trying to teach me that my comfort never could? Is it teaching you patience? Is it showing you how to ask for help? Is it revealing the strength you never knew you had? Growth never feels like comfort. It feels like loss. But on the other side of that loss is a version of you that nothing can shake. The most peaceful people you will ever meet are not those who avoided suffering, but those who let it transform them. If you are ready to rise from the ashes, just type, "I am becoming." Lesson 4. In a world that is constantly screaming at us to want more, have more, and be more, we often find ourselves cluttered. We clutter our homes with things we don't use, and we clutter our minds with grudges, regrets, and old stories that no longer serve us. We carry the weight of 1975, 1990, and 2010 into this very moment. But the path to true awakening is not a path of adding. It is a path of subtraction. It is the art of simplifying your life so that your spirit finally has room to breathe. Buddha taught that desire is the root of suffering. This doesn't just mean wanting a new car. It means the craving for things to be different than they are. We crave the body we had at 30. We crave the recognition we had in our careers. We crave for people to act the way we want them to. This mental clutter drains our vital energy. To simplify is to return to the essential. It is to ask, what truly matters to my peace right now? When you let go of the non-essential, you don't become less. You become more of who you truly are. Think of a majestic tree in autumn. The tree does not cling to its leaves because it's afraid of being bare. It doesn't fight the wind to keep its color. It understands that for new life to come in the spring, it must let go of what is dying now. The tree trusts the cycle. It knows that its beauty isn't in the leaves, but in the life force that remains even when it is stripped bare. You are in your autumn. Letting go of old roles, old belongings, and old resentments isn't a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate preparation for a new kind of blooming. I remember a time when I held on to a grudge for nearly 20 years. I thought that by staying angry, I was protecting myself or punishing the other person. But all I was doing was carrying a bag of hot coals in my own heart, waiting for them to get burned. One day, I looked at my reflection and saw how much that anger had aged me. Not my skin, but my eyes. I realized that simplifying my heart was more important than being right. I dropped the coals. The relief was more intoxicating than any victory. Close your eyes and imagine your mind is a beautiful sunlit room. Now, notice the clutter, the old regrets, the should-have-beens, the material things you're worried about. Imagine yourself picking up a broom and gently sweeping those things out the door. With every sweep, the room gets brighter. With every breath, the air gets fresher. See how much space you have now. Notice how much lighter you feel when you aren't managing a museum of the past. Say to yourself, I release the unnecessary. I am light. Ask yourself gently, What am I carrying right now that I no longer need to hold? Is it a piece of furniture, or is it a 20-year-old disappointment? Is it a fear of the future, or a regret about the past? Remember, you cannot hold the hand of the present if your arms are full of yesterday. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication of the soul. The more you simplify, the more you amplify your inner light. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart. If you are ready to let go, just type, "I release the unnecessary." Lesson 5. One of the most powerful skills we can develop in these years is the ability to become the observer rather than the reactor. Most of our lives, we have been like leaves in the wind. Someone says something rude and we get angry. Something goes wrong and we panic. We are constantly at the mercy of our emotions and the world around us. But Buddhism teaches that you are not your emotions and you are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them. You are the sky, and your emotions are just the weather. Buddha famously said, "You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger." This is a profound truth. When we react impulsively, we are the ones who suffer the physical and mental consequences. The cortisol spikes, the heart races, the peace vanishes. But when we learn to pause, we find our power. In that space between what happens and how we respond lies our freedom. This is emotional mastery. It is the ability to stay still while the storm rages around you, knowing that the storm is not you. Think of a great mountain. Clouds gather around the mountain. Sometimes it is a beautiful sunset, and sometimes it is a violent thunderstorm with lightning and rain. Does the mountain try to push the clouds away? Does it get upset when the sun goes down? No, the mountain remains unmoved. It knows that the clouds are temporary, but the mountain is eternal. You are the mountain. The opinions of others, the changes in your health, the news on the television. These are just clouds. They come and they go. They cannot change the essence of who you are unless you let them. I remember a time when a family member said something particularly hurtful during a holiday. My old habit would have been to strike back with a sharp word, to defend my ego. I felt the heat of anger rising in my chest, but instead of speaking, I took a breath and said to myself, anger has arrived. I watched it like a curious scientist. Because I didn't join the anger, it didn't have any fuel. Within 2 minutes, it passed. I remained at peace, and because I stayed calm, the entire atmosphere of the room shifted. I realized then that my silence was my greatest strength. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as that mountain. Feel your base rooted deep into the earth. Feel your peak reaching high into the clear blue sky. Now, imagine a cloud of worry or irritation drifting by. Don't fight it, just see it. Say to yourself, "I see you, worry." Watch it drift past your peak and disappear into the horizon. Notice that you are still here, solid and unshaken. The cloud didn't leave a mark. Say to yourself, "I am the mountain. I choose peace." Ask yourself gently, who would I be right now if I didn't let this situation dictate my mood? If you didn't have to win the argument or solve the problem immediately, what kind of peace would you find? Remember, the strongest person in the room is often the one who stays silent long enough to choose their response. You are the master of your inner world. When you stop reacting, you start living with true intention. If you are ready to be the mountain, just type, "I choose peace." Lesson 6. Now, as we move deeper into this journey of awakening, we come to a realization that often takes a lifetime to truly hear. In our younger years, we were taught that to be someone, we had to be seen, we had to be heard. We had to fill every silence with our opinions, our achievements, and our plans. But as the evening of life approaches, the Buddha offers us a different kind of power, the power of silence. We live in a world that is terrified of the quiet. We turn on the news the moment we wake up. We scroll through noise on our phones, and we talk just to avoid the weight of our own thoughts. But what if the very thing you are running from is the only thing that can heal you? Why is it that we feel so restless when the house goes quiet? Have you noticed how your mind starts to invent problems just to keep the silence away? We fear that if we are not doing or thinking, we are somehow disappearing. We feel a strange pressure to stay connected to the chaos, fearing that if we let go of the noise, we will be left alone with our regrets. But is the noise truly keeping you company, or is it just keeping you from yourself? The Buddha taught, in the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. This gentle living is impossible without the sanctuary of silence. Silence is not the absence of life, it is the presence of everything. Think of a pond at night. When the wind is howling and the rain is lashing down, the surface of the pond is chaotic. You cannot see the moon's reflection, and you cannot see the colorful fish swimming in the depths. But the moment the wind stops and the water becomes perfectly still, the entire universe is reflected on its surface. The pond doesn't have to try to reflect the moon. It happens naturally because the water is quiet. Your soul is that pond. I remember a time when I went to a mountain retreat specifically to find answers. I expected the monks to give me long lectures and complicated mantras. Instead, my teacher told me to sit by a stone for 3 days and say nothing. By the second day, I was furious. I felt I was wasting my time. My mind was screaming with all the things I should be doing. But on the third day, the screaming stopped. In that absolute silence, I didn't find an answer. I found a version of myself that didn't need one. I realized that my questions were just another form of noise. Close your eyes for a moment. Right where you are, imagine there is a volume knob in your mind. Slowly, mentally, turn that knob down. Hear the noise of the world, the traffic, the distant voices, the hum of the refrigerator, fading away. Now, turn down the volume of your own thoughts. Let the worries about tomorrow and the regrets of yesterday become faint whispers. Notice the silence that remains. It is warm, it is safe, it is vast. Breathe into this vastness. Say to yourself, "In the silence, I find my strength." Ask yourself gently, what truth am I afraid to hear in the silence? Is it the truth of your own worth, or the truth that you have already survived the worst and are allowed to be at peace? Silence is the language of the soul. Everything else is just a poor translation. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart. If you feel the peace of the quiet, just type, "I welcome the silence." Bonus lesson. The 5-minute sacred healing ritual. You have stayed with me until the end, and as I promised, I want to share with you a powerful, unexpected secret to healing that requires no medicine and no effort. This is the sacred forest ritual, passed down through generations of wandering monks who lived in the deepest silence. They understood that illness often begins in the imbalance of tension, the way we brace ourselves against life. Here is the ritual you can practice every morning to reset your entire being. Sit in your favorite chair, back straight but not rigid. Place both hands on your stomach. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand like a balloon. Hold for 2 seconds. Now, exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. As you exhale, visualize a gray mist leaving your body. This mist is the stress, the old pain, and the heavy thoughts of the past. Place your hands in your lap, palms up, one resting inside the other, with your thumbs gently touching. This is a gesture of receiving. Close your eyes and say inwardly, "I am a vessel. I am ready to receive the healing that is already within me." Imagine a soft, golden light descending from above, like a warm, benevolent rain. It enters through the crown of your head and flows down through your face, your neck, your heart, and all the way to your toes. This light doesn't just touch your skin, it moves through your organs, your blood, and your bones. It reinforms every cell that it is safe to let go of the fight. Now, place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your stomach. Stay in this embrace for 1 minute. Feel the warmth of your own hands. Say to yourself, "I am not my diagnosis. I am not my age. I am light. I am alive. I am healing." This ritual works because it moves your body from the survival mode of the ego into the healing mode of the soul. Practice this for 7 days, and you will notice that the world hasn't changed, but your ability to walk through it with grace has. As we close this time together, I want you to carry these truths in your heart like a sacred flame. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not late. You are arriving exactly when you are meant to. The life you seek is already seeking you, but it can only find you when you stop running. Forgive the version of you that didn't know what you know now. She was doing her best to survive. Now, you are invited to thrive. Thank you for allowing me to walk this path with you today. Remember, if these words reached you at this exact moment, it is because your soul was ready to hear them. Here, we remember that nothing is a coincidence. This is not just a video, it is a doorway back to yourself. Walk gently, breathe deeply, and trust the river. Namaste.